We're going to talk about Parshat Debarim, and we're going to see that Moshe Rabbeinu, he repeated a part of the complaints that the Jews used to complain about God. And one of the stuff they were complaining about was that they said, you know why God took us out of Egypt? He took us out of Egypt to kill us. So how could they get to such an idea that they were redeemed from Egypt, they were slaves in Egypt, and then they had a very big change and they got free, and they're in the desert, and then they say, you know why God took us out of Egypt? To kill us. What? How is that possible? It's like somebody, they let him free out of jail, and then he says, you know why they let me free out of jail? To kill me. Okay, so it's a very, very strong question. And the only way we could try to explain this is if we read Rashi. Okay, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki, who wrote explanation on the whole Chamisha Chumshei Torah, on the whole 5 books, and he writes that it says Besinat Hashem, and the hate of God, that's why he took us out. So he says, and it wasn't like that, because God took out the Jews from Egypt because he loved them, and he wanted them to live and give them life. He didn't take them out of Egypt to kill them. What would be the point? He could have left them over there in Egypt to die. He didn't take them out of Egypt to kill them, right? So it says over here in Aramaic, Ma de belibo chal rachamoch, ma de belibe yaloch. And I'll explain. Many times in life, when you think something about a person, if you think good stuff about a person, how good he is and how wonderful he has so many good qualities, then that's when he's going to think about you. Usually that's what's going to happen, and he's going to think that about you. You think positive about him, he's going to think positive about you. But because they were thinking negative about God, they were complaining. Okay, part of the Jews were complaining, and everything that didn't work out was a reason for them to complain. And they couldn't complain to Moshe, they complained to Moshe Rabbeinu, they complained about God. Why is God this? Why is God that? And everything that doesn't work out, they complain. Complainers. And all of us have that part of us that wants to complain. The milk spilled, the food burnt, and this and that boy and that person and the wife and the kids, and everybody wants to complain. You complain, you create a negative energy. You create a negative energy, that's the energy you're going to get back from other people. You think about them negative, you're going to have negative energy towards you. And that's what Rashi is saying over here. If you're going to think negative about a person and to say bad stuff about him and think in your heart bad stuff about him, that's the energy you're going to get back from him. But if you want to, and it could become impossible to understand, because it could happen even with the people that love you. Okay, God loves his creations. He created the Jews to give to them. He created the world in order to give. He created the world because it is the ultimate good. And they got to a point where they thought he's playing games to take us out of Egypt to kill us, and that's how bad complaining can be. That's how bad when a person complains and he becomes a crybaby, then at the end he could even complain about the people who love him the most. And because he thinks about them bad, he thinks that they think about him bad. He's thinking so much bad about the people that love him that he thinks that they're thinking about him the same way. And that was the mistake of the complaining group of Am Yisrael. So, after saying this word, I hope that we all are able to achieve in life the idea how to look at things positive. and stop complaining. Nothing good happens from complaining. Okay? So I want to say Shabbat Shalom to all of you from Yeshiva. This is Shlomo Chan, and thank you for listening.